And now I recognize Mr. Johnson for the purpose of introducing our next witness.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm proud to introduce today a fellow Georgian, Mr. Arthur Salus. Mr. Salus founded Duluth Travel, a service-disabled veteran-owned business, in 1993. And in the last 15 years, Duluth Travel has become a leading travel management company. In 2005 and 2006, it was named the Travel Agency of the Year in government travel. In addition to being a successful business owner, Mr. Salus has been a strong advocate for expanding veterans' opportunities in federal procurement. He's a member of the National Veteran-Owned Business Association and is a small business subcommittee chairman of the Society of Government Travel Professionals. Mr. Salus is also a member of Operation One Voice, which supports special operation forces by providing transportation and funding of wounded veterans and their families to and from rehabilitation facilities. He's testified on the Hill for Veterans' Rights before the Veterans Affairs and Small Business Committees, and he's known in the local and national media as the Travel Master. And I'm pleased that he is here to share his expertise on federal procurement with the Small Business Committee today. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman.
Welcome,
Hooray for Georgians, right? Good morning, Madam Chairwoman, Ranking Member Chabot, and their committee. My name is Arthur Salus, and I'm pleased to talk about the impact of emerging procurement methods in small business. I'm president of Duluth Travel, a small service-disabled, veteran-owned travel agency. Our company is located in Atlanta, Georgia, and we have 26 employees. We have been providing travel services to state and local government agencies, corporations, and leisure travelers since 1993. I am an active member of the American Society of Travel Agents, the Society of Government Travel Professionals, and the National Veteran-Owned Business Association. I've been competing for federal contracts since 2003 when I was approved by GSA, and I believe I'm well qualified to testify on how government procurement methods affect small business travel agencies. The federal government has been competitively procuring travel services from the private sector since 1989. On the civilian side, federal agencies may procure travel services directly by their own efforts or use contracting vehicles designed by the General Services Administration. At one time, GSA did set aside opportunities exclusively for small businesses. These opportunities were either federal agencies with relatively small travel budgets or were discrete geographical areas around the country where federal agencies had offices. Any small business who qualified for these opportunities received a copy of any travel request. There were multiple travel opportunities and multiple small businesses being awarded travel contracts around the country. This changed in 2003 when GSA implemented two new travel programs, one the e-Travel Government and one is the Travel Services Solution Schedule. The e-Travel Services contract was awarded to three large corporations, EDS, Northrop Grumman, and Carlson Wagonlit Travel, to provide end-to-end travel systems to the federal agencies other than DoD. These three large corporations not only provide the technology, but provide the end-to-end services, but also can provide one-stop shopping to include all services used in travel agencies and subcontractors. These three large corporations use both large and small travel agencies and subcontractors known as embedded travel. I received business through a subcontract relationship with EDS to date, but have not received any business from the other two ETS vendors. That means, despite my track record of excellent past performance, I am locked out of over 66% of the civilian travel government business. In fact, I'm here to tell you that I'm not happy to report that one of the ETS vendors refuses to answer any of my calls or emails. The GSA has stated that more small business are eligible to federal business contracting before ETS and TSS. That includes 53 travel agencies, of which 30 are small businesses. I first want to commend Tim Burke and his staff at eTravel at GSA for their continued efforts to bring e-travel to the 21st century. However, according to the information on GSA's own website, only 10 of these small agencies reported any sales. This is less than 1% of the total sales, as Madam Chairwoman, you quoted, going to small business travel agencies. I'm probably that 1%. I believe GSA has a special role to ensure small business and meaningful opportunities to compete for travel contracts. Although I'm listed on the TSS schedule, I have not received any business from it. I was awarded a contract directly by the Department of Veteran Affairs and is a set-aside, competitive set-aside for small service-disabled veterans. This fact is that most small business travel agencies have received less business than they did before the two programs were created. Why has this occurred? Unlike prior GSA programs, the TSS schedule itself does not include any small business set-asides. The TSS schedule is merely a listing of travel agencies that has been pre-qualified by GSA, much like the Yellow Pages. While many small businesses are listed, few are chosen as there is no requirement from a federal agency to offer each of the vendors an opportunity to bid. Without discrete set-asides opportunities, small businesses receive less consideration and less business. GSA is urged to include set-asides in the schedules for travel services. We are only asking that we have direct and meaningful opportunities to compete. To sum up my testimony, I would like to recommend the following: that GSA implement acquisition alternatives for small business set-asides. And number two, create a voluntary, independent, this is my suggestion, panel made up of persons from each of the following agencies: GSA, GAO, SBA, and OMB, a staff member from this committee, and members of the small business sector. This panel could also look outside the federal government at those large corporations who have government contracts who do not use small business in their work. Please let me go back and spread the word to the committee, from the committee, saying that you understand the plight of small businesses. I appreciate your time this morning, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.